Who are you under there? What are you hiding?
My son dreamt of a better world. That's why he saved me.
You can go to any timeline, any universe. Why'd you fight to save this one?
What could be greater than a king? A hero.
I just got goosebumps.
If we don't stand up, no one will.
Come with us. There's a glorious world out there, waiting for you.
Are you in?
Hell yeah, man.
Yo,
Hell
first and
yeah.
foremost, shouts out
Go
to
ahead.
DC for Dr. Fate. I'm just saying.
Bro, for real.
He looks so good.
For
Oh my
real.
God.
Look at the fucking costume, bro. I don't think they've ever missed a Dr. Fate ever in my life. Like these in I think the 90s when they had like a live action costume. I don't think they've ever had one that looks bad. Because if you say it's the 90s or it's the 80s, well, that's the time period. So whatever. I think there was one in Arrowverse, either
You see
Arrowverse
the
or
hands?
or Smallville. So yeah, like they've never missed one. Anyways, welcome everybody to episode 3 of Culture Geeks. It's your boy Mo Crosby, alongside with the boy KB, the Trap God, with the Dad Bod. What's going on, Dr. Kyle?
What's really hood? What's really hood?
Like for real. Okay, the last time we did episode 1, we discussed in full Moon Knight. That was our first episode of the show. The second episode I did was Black Panther. Why what's her name is now gone from Black Panther. You know, she is gonna be
She's gonna be Black Panther.
She's gonna be Black Panther. They're not recasting, you know, and then just continuity, they want to keep the same actress. That's why she's back. And this is episode 3. And it's funny because I was thinking of what we should do for an episode 3. And this just came. This dropped today. I saw it on Matt Reeves' Twitter. I think I saw it and I was like, yo, Kyle, I'm like, yo, episode 3, this is it. This is what we have to talk about for episode 3. And it's perfect because it comes right before the 4th March next month. So we have this to discuss because if anything, we were going to try to do Batman for episode 3, but that's too far out. So why not? So thank you, DC, for dropping this sizzle reel, this teaser for 2022. And so that brings us to the topic of the episode. Will DC have a good 2022?
I'm going to say yes. My bad.
Okay.
This made me feel so good.
You didn't even finish the question.
But yeah, my bad. Go for it, yo. Like I was excited when you sent me this. I didn't even know this dropped.
Will DC have a comeback here in 2022? Kyle has already chimed in. Yes, I. Okay. Let me start it with this, right? So I was excited for the Batman. I'm obviously excited to see what Matt Reeves is gonna do. You know, that combination of Matt Reeves and Pattinson, there was like mad news about it. But you know, it's whatever. It's Matt Reeves, and Robert Pattinson has grown as an actor since Twilight. I was excited for that off the bat. I was excited for Aquaman too. I feel like I'm one of the only people on this channel that loves that will put Aquaman on the S tier if we ever rank it. I love that movie. So I was excited for Aquaman. So
to be honest,
yeah, exactly. It's coming out at the end of the year. So I was excited for those two movies. Now the middle movies I wasn't really sure of. You know, the Flash, given what we've seen in, you know, with Ezra Miller as the Flash, Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, there was no excitement for that movie. But then they said it's going to be called Flashpoint, and it might be doing a soft reboot of the DC EU. And I'm like, okay, I could deal with that. You know, I could definitely see that. And then the next movie is Black Adam, which I had no thoughts of until I saw that fake trailer for the DC fandom. And I was like, nah, this is the one movie that I don't care about. But seeing those little shots in the trailer, bro, I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind, especially on Black Adam. I think I wasn't expecting any of that. I was not expecting none of that, and I'm like, you know what? This is it. This is the movie. I want to see
I
this
had
movie.
good feelings about Black Adam when
I had zero.
so when we had 3D's rant and
Mhm.
Anthony was on here and we talked about Black Adam then. Anthony mentioned we were talking about the Snyder nut. It's never going to be the Snyder cut for me. It's the Snyder nut because he
Gotcha.
came all over that movie and it was horrible and
His
disgusting.
fans loved it though.
Yeah, his
That's what he
fans
made it
wanted
for.
that all over their face. They got cream pies all over the place. So this is what you guys get before I
Hey
go to work.
yo.
So thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe, bitches.
Facts, facts, facts.
so, so yeah, anywho, um Ant had put something in my view I didn't know, and that was the Rock's crew had put up the money for this movie.
Yes, yes.
And when I
He's
heard
a
that,
producer. Yeah, $7. $7 along with New Line Cinema. But New Line is what did um Shazam.
mhm,
They're one of the Warner Brothers studios that they have, one of the many. It's like the
that made
smallest.
me feel good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the reason why is because I think DC needed some kind of because of where things were going, like Wonder Woman 84, and there was a
Liked it.
couple
I like that movie, but keep
84.
going.
No, you didn't. We
I like
when we reviewed it, you
hold
you
on,
even
hold
talked about
on,
how you
hold
didn't like.
on, hold on. I know when we reviewed it, I was harsh on it because that was my first time watching it. But I watched it again and I watched it again and I was like,
Oh,
you
you're
know
pulling
what?
the Black Widow on me now. Okay,
Yeah,
right,
this
I got
movie
you.
is
All right,
passable.
I respect
Like
that.
I've read Wonder Woman like I read Wonder Woman comics. I've read Wonder Woman comics that felt like that movie and I've liked those comics. So I was I being really harsh because again, Wonder Woman is not a fighter. She is a lover and then she's a fighter. She
Hmm.
all, every time she solves a problem, it's not always with a punch. Most of her comics end with her just talking.
That's
She's
true.
fought in the middle of the comics and it ends literally with her talking. There's some type of diplomacy, or
Hmm.
there's a conflict resolution that doesn't have to deal with a punch.
I'm
That
not
movie ended,
disagreeing with you on
yeah.
that.
And while she did fight in those comics, that's how it ended, and
It was
I
the
like
third
that movie
act
for that.
that bothered me with that movie.
I
But
guess.
I'm not here to trash talk DC. I don't
All right,
want to
yeah,
do
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. We're
I'm
talking
not
about
here to do
2022. We're
that.
talking about
Yeah,
the
yeah,
the
we're talking
good that's coming.
2022. And as you know, I've been giving glaring reviews about my show, John Cena.
Listen, listen,
Yo.
listen. I think you said after Wonder Woman 84, but there was the Suicide Squad in between that.
Yeah, James Gunn killed her with that.
He
Which is
if you're
weird
saying
because
the way they were going, listen, to me
but
there's a
see,
lot
all
of
right, so here's where things get weird, right?
all right.
Because you have fans of cinema, fans of pop culture movies,
Mhm.
fans of comic book movies that
Right.
gave great reviews of the Suicide Squad. And
Yes.
then you had like this weird subculture group of like Snyder devotees, I'm gonna call them,
Right.
that go,
Right.
"Oh, we hate it
Culture.
because it's too happy, it's too dark." I'm like, dude, have you ever read a Suicide Squad comic?
Facts.
Yes, it is
Like they
dark.
killed
It's
Rick
not.
Flag. Fuck Rick Flag.
Yo, this the
Do you know
joint
how
was
many times
dark
Rick Flag
enough.
has died in the comics? Like the fuck?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, like you guys are mad because it didn't have, I guess, enough people dying in it. It wasn't shot in the dark. Like, dude, do you understand how colorful DC Comics was or
Facts.
are still to this day? Like,
Are still are,
they are
yeah.
the most colorful, eye popping comics in the world.
Yes.
As a kid, I
Yes.
loved Superman comics because it was so eye popping. And like the
Bro,
X Men comics weren't
you
even
read a
that bright and
Aquaman
colorful.
comic? It's actually very bright.
Yeah, like yo, it's like
Aquaman
super
comic is
stimulating to read a DC
yeah,
comic.
when they go into Atlantis and Aquaman in the comics, yo, Atlantis is nice.
Yeah, so when these like Snyder devotees come out, I'm like, okay, are you guys fans of comic book movies, comic book medium, or are you guys just like, those kids that grew up watching Saw movies that now want everything to be on that level of dark? Are you guys Bloomhouse fans? Like, and I'm not knocking you if you are, but
I am.
don't try to
Fuck that.
make
I am.
yourself.
I'm knocking all of them. I'm knocking all of you. If that's what
No,
you
no,
like.
no. Here's the thing, because some of
Yes,
them listen
I
to our
am. He's
podcast.
not. I am. So that's let's just give it like I still knock you if that's how you want your comic book movies to look like. Fuck you.
But don't call yourself a comic book movie fan if you're not really a comic book movie fan. You're a fan of something and you want that something to mirror this. You know what I mean? Like you're
Mm.
basically a crab person. Crab people. Like if you watch South Park, you would get that reference. But anyway, but no, seriously, like you're chicken boo. Like like you're not really this. You know what I mean? You're hiding and disguising yourself as this so that we control the people that actually like this. You know what I mean? Like that's what you guys have become, is a troll of comic book media. You're like really not devoted to the art. Like, and I get like liking certain things dark. Like, yes, like there are certain things I do like dark, but I like, if it's going to be dark, let it tell a good story. Like
Right.
Deadpool one.
Right.
Deadpool one was dark. It was edgy. It was adult. It was cool. You know what I mean? And it told a good story. It told a good contained story. Deadpool 2 tried to copy the same thing and it didn't do that because it didn't need to be all those things. It didn't need to be an R-rated movie to be a good movie, but it forced itself to appease that certain fan group and it failed. And I think that's the issue with the Snyder movies, is it tries to force itself to be this dark, edgy thing and it doesn't need to be. Superman doesn't need to be dark ever. There's, unless you're telling like the story of the Injustice Superman. That's the only time it needs to be dark. Like make more of the what you call it, the Brightburn movies, if that's what you want. And mind you, I like Brightburn. I'm probably in that small category of people that actually like
You're
Brightburn.
probably the only person I know that likes Brightburn.
I
That's the
like
one with the
Brightburn.
child, right?
Yeah, I actually liked it.
Oh yeah,
That
that
kid
movie was
was weird
trash.
looking.
That movie was
Yo,
trash.
that's fine.
Good odds.
That's completely fine. But I mean, also art is subjective, so you could not like it, and that's fine with me.
Okay. But no, like to echo off you, right? There was a trajectory the DC movies were going. But I personally, on to go against you a little bit, I thought after 84, again, after I seen 84 like a couple times, and then I'd seen the Suicide Squad, I'm like, you know what? 2022, or at least what they want to do with their movies is starting to look, good. Before I continue, I think it was 2018 or 2019 Comic Con. Warner Brothers came out and said they didn't want to be called the DCEU anymore. They were going to be called the worlds, or they were opening the worlds of DC, meaning
Hmm.
that all these movies can exist. And I think that's when they were trying to say, look, we're not probably going to make connected movies, which is why they can make this movie right here, this year with and make this movie right here, this year with the same character is going to appear twice in these
Hmm.
movies. Batman is going to appear twice, and it's a reason they can do that
So wait,
because
Robert Pattinson's Batman is going to appear in that movie
no,
too?
he's not.
Okay, because I know that there's two other Ben
Ben
Affleck's
Affleck is going to appear in this,
and what's his name's
and
Batman. I
Michael
forget his name.
Keaton.
There we go.
So
Yeah.
Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton again. So you have three characters appearing in this movie that are going to be Batman. Or this year, we're going to have three Batman on screen this year because of the worlds of DC and because they're opening the world. So I think, The Flash was the other movie that I had contention with, but when they called it Flashpoint, saying moving forward, whatever happens in this movie will set the tone for the rest of the DCEU moving
And
forward.
I'm excited about that.
And that is what I'm excited about.
Because
100%. I'm
DC
with you.
doesn't need to be Marvel. And that
No, they don't.
DC came off wrong when they tried to market themselves as the dark version of Marvel,
That was
basically.
dumb as shit.
Yeah, like,
You know
and
what
then
it
then you
was?
wanna rush. You wanna rush to get to the
Someone
Avengers.
sold them that idea that, hey, these guys are already doing happy movies. Be the anti that, and that's what's gonna sell. Because you can't have everyone doing the same thing. Someone and that's what's killing me is someone marketed and said, hey, you can't have both people doing the same thing and make it a success.
But you
Why?
can, but
Yes, you
that's not
can.
even the worst part. I think DC could have done that if they would have did the groundwork. They didn't want to take the time to do the groundwork. They jumped straight into Superman and then they went to Batman versus Superman. Like you got
No,
no?
you're missing something.
Oh yeah, and Suicide Squad.
No, you're missing something. the 2008, was it 2008? No, no, no. Yes, 2008. Ryan Reynolds, Green Lantern was supposed to open the DCEU.
I never knew that. You just
Yes,
told me
and
something.
because it failed, they had to reset.
I didn't
Fast
know that.
forward, Batman gets, does well, and you want to continue that trend. Then you ask the guy who did the Batman movies to come direct the Superman movie. Mistake. He says he can't direct it because he has something else to do.
Zack Snyder can.
He then writes, helps to write the movie, and then no, Guillermo del Toro was supposed to direct. He was busy.
Yeah,
We had
that's like
five. There was at least four other directors that were supposed to happen, and then he was like, "You know what? You have this guy. Why don't you let him do it?"
he did Watchmen. He did a good job on that because that's how they tried to make it seem. No, if you
Yes,
remember, that was the talk because I remember Del Toro
yes.
was supposed to do Man of Steel,
Man of
and I
Steel.
like, and I was like super happy because I wanted him to do
He
Man of Steel
because
because I think his vision
he
would have been
can
great.
make something dark, but still make it somehow bright.
You
If
have
you
to make
watch,
it entertaining.
if you watch Troll Hunters on Netflix, it's a dark story, but it's
Yeah,
kids can watch it.
my kids love it. My oldest child loves Trolls,
Boom.
and it's
So
dark as hell.
it's dark as hell. So you can do that. And so when I found out he was attached, I loved it. But it came down to the guy who did Watchmen that was split, divisive, and it's like, well, he has a style and it might work well. That was the big they should have, if they were gonna reset, they should have recast or try to do a soft reboot on just on Green Lantern and move on from there.
I
Like you
didn't
do a
know
Green
Green
Lantern
Lantern.
soft reboot and add what's his name, John Stewart, and you can build out from him. He finds Batman.
I did not know Green Lantern was supposed to.
Yeah, it was.
Wow,
It was. But
wow.
we are here today to, with these movies, the Batman. It looks great.
That looks
Look at that.
great.
Look at that
I
IMAX
only have
poster.
one complaint about this at
Ooh, I
all.
gotta hear it. I gotta hear it.
That it was marketed at first to come out in theaters and on HBO
It
Max, and
was.
now
It was.
it's
It
now they're making a point to keep saying in theaters only.
yes. Okay,
That's my only
so
complaint.
it was. I think a lot, even but you know what it was? You know why they
Black
moved
Widow's
it?
lawsuit.
No, no, no. They moved it.
Yeah, they moved. They because it was supposed to come out in the beginning of February, right?
It was supposed to also come out last year.
It was well, COVID impacted that.
Nah. When Warner Brothers had said we're gonna do date-to-date releases, they said it was for the year of 2021,
Hmm.
and that was it. So so they paid all the movies we saw last year. They paid them the back end money that they would have made if they went theaters, right? Whatever the contract was. They somehow found a way to delay this movie and move it out of 2021, and then keep pushing it from the beginning of
Because this was supposed to
February.
come out around Christmas, if I'm not
Yes, to
mistaken.
March. Yes.
Yeah, I remember that, but they kept saying it was gonna be HBO Max and theaters. And then it was delayed, so I thought it was supposed to come out in January, right?
January, February. It was supposed
And
to come
then
out
and then it
between, yeah, and they
and then,
moved it
like,
again.
when they started marketing it for March the 4th or whatever, that's when
Mhm.
they said in theaters only. I'm like,
Yes, because they
"Why
had already
theaters
said
only?"
the only time they were gonna do that thing they did was just last year
Mhm.
to get people to sign up. And then the biggest thing was, but the biggest thing is though, this year you also don't have to wait. If you're able to wait 45 days like Marvel does with their Disney stuff,
Yeah,
I think
you
it's
get it.
90. It's 45, right?
It's something weird because there was a few movies that I know I waited longer. I think it was the Shang-Chi movie, that was like 100 and some odd days, like, that was a
Yeah.
good wait.
But HBO Max is saying 45 days theater days to or their release to where you can watch it on HBO Max.
Yeah, here's the issue. The Batman, can you show that again? Because that's a beautiful picture. Thank you, there we go. That's art right there. That's a Picasso. It's a beautiful shot. So,
Picasso. I like it.
Picasso, only the best. Hove. Um, But yo, this movie, the score alone is worth seeing this in a theater. So this is definitely worth me paying $20 to see in a theater. Like
And
it's
possibly catching COVID
impossibly
because
I
there's
mean,
still a
if
good
you're gonna
chance.
die for something, die for watching this movie.
This movie, oh shit, because there's still a full blown panorama outside, bro.
Yeah, you're gonna die from that cold, but at least that cold, you're gonna watch Vengeance on the big
The
screen.
sickest movie to come out this year. I
Yeah,
think this
sickest
is.
movie,
I
sickest
honestly think
virus, perfect.
this might be the best one. This might be the best comic book movie to come out this year, and
Hmm.
this might be the best Batman movie since
Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight. Yes.
Yeah, I have a very good feeling. Did you watch the YouTube video clip that they showed of the funeral scene? It was like a police something about a police officer that was killed from this. I'm not trying to spoil anything for anybody. There's a clip on YouTube which is like a 3 minute scene from this movie. And it looks great. It looks really great.
Oh, I'm very sure. I'm very, very, very sure.
Like that scene is worth the price of admission. I was like, dude, this is good. Like this acting level, this everything about this is good. Like they got so many things right. Even I worked law enforcement years ago for a period of time as a correctional officer. They had
Right.
little nuances right as far as how law enforcement deal with each other and talk, and so like it was just like so many different. They're like, oh, they took time to research. Like even things about Bruce Wayne, they got right. Like uh, there was one scene in Batman versus Superman where I was happy that they got right with Bruce Wayne.
Mhm.
Um, that and it was that part where Clark is or Superman is doing what he's doing. He's destroying. He saves that little kid, and it was like that mannerism and how Bruce Wayne was conflicted, and then it's like natural. Like I don't care that I don't have this. I don't care that I don't have on the cape and cow. I have to be Batman. It's like this is
Mhm.
who I am. And it was like that in this movie. It was like, oh, okay. You guys understand Batman. You guys
No, I think
really get
Matt
Batman.
Reeves is gonna do a fantastic job with this movie. I think Robert Pattinson is gonna surprise a lot of people who didn't like him being cast as Batman. There were a lot of people who didn't like him being cast as Batman. So that's gonna be funny to see um with that. But the second movie to come out after the Batman, I think, is Black Adam. The reason I was a little like, like, I don't know about this movie is because one, I think that's the reason you might like it. I think it's The Rock. That's my biggest problem for this movie.
Yeah. it-
It's The
So
Rock.
I'm I like the Rock, but here's the thing. I like the Rock because of I used to be a big wrestling fan
Hmm.
back in the 90s. And Rock was one of my favorite wrestlers in the 90s. And so it's like this weird thing I have with the Rock where it's like I love all his stuff, even if it sucks. It's like I can't help it because it's The Rock.
Right.
So, but I don't think The Rock is the best actor. Like
No,
now,
he's not. He's not.
and it's weird
And
because The Rock has been doing this for so long, and then you look at what John Cena is doing, and
oh
it's
my
like,
God, John Cena is fucking fantastic.
yeah, it's
Last
like
night's episode,
how? How
last
did
night's
this happen?
episode of fucking Peacemaker had me done after he killed his dad. I was
Yeah,
like, yeah, fuck. Like I'm actually feeling sorry for this piece of shit character that killed Rick Flag. That, like, a lot of times where he's being very emotional on the episode, I've actually started to feel sorry for him, but I'm like, no, you killed Rick Flag. Fuck you,
yeah, and
piece of
that's the
shit.
weird thing they're doing with Peacemaker what The Walking Dead wanted to do on screen with Negan.
Can I tell you? I think they're doing with Peacemaker, the character, what Clint Barton was supposed to be doing. Hear me out, because he was Ronin,
Hmm.
and we never saw him feel bad.
No, they
We
they
never
they
saw him.
they really missed the mark with the whole
Yeah,
Ronin thing.
like the whole thing with Ronin was just the only reason he came back was to get the suit to burn it. Like
Hmm.
he never felt like, yeah, the things he did with Natasha were great.
But he wasn't even coming back for the suit at first. He could care less. He was there to
Yes,
enjoy New York City with the family.
right.
And then it just so
The suit
happened there was a
appeared.
girl wearing
Yeah,
the suit. And then he goes,
yeah.
oh, yeah, I forgot that was a part of my life. I've gotten over.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
and they, so
There was
yes,
never no
so that's, so I
remorse.
mean, I still like the show, but that was my issue area with it. It was like
I didn't like
You're
Hawkeye.
you're
I
kind
said
of you're kind of just brushing this whole thing. There's a story behind it, but you're brushing it aside.
I
It
didn't
was
like
all right.
Hawkeye. I told
It was
you
all right.
from the beginning. I was like,
But yeah,
I'm
no.
not a big fan of the Hawkeye thing.
Honestly, the Rock is my sore spot, but you have
Doctor
Pierce
Fate.
Brosnan, who I think is fantastic. He's gonna be Dr. Fate. Um, I am ready. I'm very, very ready for that. I'm ready for, like all the other characters, the JSA. We're gonna be meeting the JSA in this movie, and I'm ready to see the JSA. Kyle dropped off, so he'll be back for us. He'll be back later. But no,
I'm right here.
I'm very excited to see the JSA, right? Like, I think this looks good. I think this looks good. I think this movie is gonna be a good looking movie. The only thing I hope is it's not brown. They have a this is kind of like, because Teth Adam is from that era or that area of the world, and I hope they don't make this movie brown because of him. Now, another reason why I feel like The Rock is my sore spot for this, right? The Rock has never been a bad guy on screen, which is even I think the only time he was Doom, right? He was the
No,
bad guy
he's
on
played a
Doom.
villain in the past. I'm trying to remember what it
Nah,
was.
nah, that's it, bro. It's Doom and nothing else. And even then, he started off as a good guy. So now my issue is because he's never been a bad guy, he's not gonna want to be a bad guy here. So they're not gonna make Teth Adam a bad guy. They're gonna make him an anti-hero. So I still have a problem with that. I still have a minor problem with that. Otherwise, I think this movie is gonna be fine. Pierce Brosnan is gonna make it great. We're gonna get the GSA. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. So I'm excited for this one. I'm very excited for this one. And here comes the movie that's gonna change everything, bro. Flashpoint, the
This is
Flash's
going to be
movie, Flashpoint. First of all,
This is going to be a sink or swim for the whole company, though.
you know what? Yes,
And
yes,
I
I
hate to
think so.
say it, but this
I
is
think
going to
so.
be
This is the
what's
movie
either
that
going to make
holds
them.
that brings everything together for real, because they could have a great Batman, good enough Black Adam, and then if this movie fails, because
That's
it's the
it.
Flash, it's supposed to deal with multiverse, you're gonna always be like second. You can make this movie so great because we've had the Spider-Man didn't really deal with the multiverse in a way. It just dealt with multiversal characters.
Hmm.
This movie actually touches the multiverse. We're gonna get to see a different universe. So this is the movie, like I said, that brings everything together. I agree with you. Not only that, this is the movie that ties things together, because if they are going to do like a Justice League at some point with these same characters, if right, or if you're gonna do some sort of mashup movie with these same characters with Arthur Curry as he is, Jason
Hmm.
Momoa, Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, and Ezra Miller, his movie is the reason that this is gonna happen. And so his movie needs to be able to carry that on its back. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like Iron Man 1. The Flash is literally, to me, Iron Man 1, because the Avengers works because Iron Man 1 was so great, because none of those other movies after Iron Man 1 were good. Thor was okay. Captain
Hmm.
America First Avenger was
It was very
um what was the other movie?
um
Uh
Iron Man 2,
yeah.
Hulk, which that's debatable.
Yeah,
We could
so
debate
none
that
of those
all the
movies were
time.
great until Iron Man 1 still was so good it carried the entire universe on its back. Literally like Iron Man carrying a missile on his back to toss into Chitauri space. But honestly, I think this movie, as you said, sink or swim for DC. And
Arguably, Phase 2 didn't have a lot of good movies. Like you
eh,
had Guardians 1,
right,
and you
right. Phase
had
2 didn't either.
what you
But
call it? What's the movie?
Avengers carried Phase 2 on its back.
And arguably Avengers 2 again. It was very. I liked it,
However you
but
want to feel about
Ultron's
that
one of my
movie,
favorite.
the Avengers movie, Iron Man carried the universe to begin with. Then
Hmm.
the Avengers movies did all the heavy lifting, because you had medium to good to medium movies in
Because
between.
Dark World was garbage.
Yes, Cap 2, however,
It that carried it.
yes. Oh, so if you how do you feel about no, Cap 2 came after Avengers 2. That was phase 3?
Cap 2 came before Avengers 2.
No, it
So,
didn't
yeah, it
because
did. Cap 2 came before Age of Ultron, yeah.
didn't Cap 2 talk about the city or that what am I thinking about some other
You
Oh,
think about
Civil
something.
War, my bad.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Civil War. So yeah, Cap 2 came. So yeah, Cap 2 literally because people don't like Age of Ultron, but they give the pass of that phase because you have Cap 2 that is almost universally everyone's favorite best Marvel movie. Cap 2 is.
Yeah, no,
It
no.
is.
So I have an issue. So this was always my issue with Cap 2 and Age of Ultron. And it's funny because when you watch What If, they kind of play with that idea that I've always played with. Why didn't Aaron Zola just become Ultron? Because he was already AI.
Right.
And I
Right.
was like, and that was something because I always thought because you know how they kept marketing, oh, Captain America 2 is going to tie right in to
Mhm,
Age of
mhm,
Ultron. I'm like,
mhm.
oh, well, that's what's going to happen. Some kind of way, Zola's going to take over the Stark Tech and become.
Right. Right.
And if they would have did it, it would have been perfect.
True. True. Yeah,
'Cause-
because you would have had the biggest tie right there.
yeah,
So I think we're setting ourselves up for something that could be great with this movie. I think this movie has the potential.
I
I
think it's
think the
going to
movie
be
has the
good.
potential. I think it has the potential to be good.
And they haven't given out a lot of
Nothing.
like
Nothing.
anything. One thing we know is like a couple cast members. That's it.
Yeah, there's hardly. Yeah, we know there's a Supergirl. We know there's a Batgirl, Batwoman. We know there's characters that's gonna be in this. It's gonna springboard a lot of characters. For one, it's gonna springboard characters into HBO Max because they're gonna start doing TV shows like this with Pacemaker because they're doing Peacemaker now. I think Batgirl gets her own TV show. I think they're gonna do movies on HBO Max. So this movie springboards a lot of that. It does. And the year ends with again Aquaman 2. I loved Aquaman 1. I think this is
This
gonna be
shot is very close to
it's
Black Panther. This
it's
is a very blank.
gorgeous.
Yeah, but it's a
Yes,
very Black
it
Panther
looks
shot
like
to
when
me.
he's sitting on the
Yeah,
but no, this is actually a shot from the movie. This is not a poster. So different. It's in
yeah,
the little thing that I played at the beginning.
yeah. That's a
It's
very Black Panther shot.
It is. I mean, if the first movie to me you could call that Black Panther if you want to.
Yeah, you could.
Um, there's a lot of Aquaman. I think Throne of Atlantis. If you watch Throne of Atlantis and you watch the Black Panther movie, they almost look alike. If you watch most of the Black Panther TV, or that's on TV, whether it's the Marvel shows or because of the characters are both noble. These are the
They
most
resemble and borrow from each
yes,
other a lot.
yes. And I think one of Aquaman's biggest villains I'm sorry, one of Black Panther's biggest villains, you could call him Aquaman.
Yeah, I
And
mean
then Black Manta, for real, you could call him.
Black Panther.
Yeah, so they're very,
Yeah, they weave.
yeah.
They
So,
borrow
but
from each
no,
other.
I just think this is gonna be good again. I mean, James Wan, I don't think he's gonna miss with this. I don't think
He
he's gonna
doesn't
do.
miss anything.
He doesn't.
Period.
So I'm for it. I'm really, really for it. What is your movie what is the movie for you that's gonna be movie of the year out of these 4 movies coming
Batman.
up? You didn't
Period.
even you didn't even let me finish, bro.
I'm
Like, what's
sorry.
going on? It's like, nah, I am with you. But you know what? I have a sneaky suspicion, right? Hear me out. That this could somehow be the movie of the year.
It could,
The
but
JSA, bro.
I'm, it's either Flash or Batman, and Flash is going to be the sink or swim.
I
It's kind of like
listen again. I
it's
am
kind of
with
like far
you.
from like No Way Home. No Way Home is going to be sink or swim.
Right. I'm with you, bro. Trust me. Trust me. I'm with you on the Batman and the Flash doing the heavy lifting this year. But I think there's a sneaky, like it's just like a little. I want.
Because of how long they took to do this. Like this is what 8 or 9 year in the making.
right, but they're giving us the JSA, and I think right for a fraction. I don't know where it's coming from, but I think this because of the characters that we're getting in it could easily be the movie of the year. But don't. But again,
Crossing them.
I'm with you. I'm with you on Batman. I'm with you on the Flash, doing the heavy lifting this year. But no, seriously, that could be it. And if
I mean, I
that is
hope so
it,
because there was
and if
a
that
lot of
is
time.
if that ends up being the movie of the year, oh, we're 35 minutes into the show. I said it at this point. I'm gonna write it down. I promise, because you always be texting me like, "You said this, right?" And I'm like, "Did I say that?" Because you remember, 35 minutes into the show, I said Black Adam could be the best DC movie this year.
I remember we sat in a chat one time, and I questioned a lot about what was going on with this movie because that movie was promised before so many other things was even put in development, and I was like, dude, what is going on with this movie? Why isn't it coming out? Is it even happening? Is there a breakdown with The Rock? And nobody knew. And then all of a sudden we found out, oh, The Rock got his own team involved. So it really could be.
No, but the reason I think it took time because after Justice League and all of the other things started happening, I think he saw the reshuffle, and because I think he wants this movie to happen.
Well, he asked for this character specifically.
Yes,
He went
wants
to
this
Warner
movie.
Brothers and
Yes,
asked.
he wants this movie to happen. So I think because he wants this movie to happen, he was willing to wait on the reshuffle and moving, and then AT&T, the acquisitions. He was willing to wait for all of that, to then be like, you know what, it's all because I think there's not going to be a major reshuffle in Warner Brothers or DC. Like this is the team that we have, Peter Safran, and all this is the team that we have, and it's a team moving forward.
And you
They
got James
fired,
Gunn, and I'm really hoping they
yes,
open up the door for
yeah,
James.
they fired all of the guys pre-Justice League, and then they had an entirely new team. I think this is a team moving forward that is going to make all the DC movies, and I just think he wanted to wait to for this final reshuffle, and that's why we got this movie so late. But anyways, this could be the best DC movie. Again, 37 minutes into the show now, and I said it. But again, the Batman easy, the Flash easy, Aquaman easy for me. Top three, if those are three.
It's definitely gonna be top three.
And
Speaking of top three,
go ahead.
how do you feel about the next cast? We do a ranking of all media from 2021.
Man,
I know
you
sent
don't be in the chat. You should go in chat.
No, remember I'm off social media.
Oh, that's your. Oh, then I'll text you about it. But yeah, that's a great. When
I text that to you, did you put it in the chat?
I will. That's what I'm gonna text you, bro. I'm gonna text you off the show. No, but thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for stopping through, watching. Thank you if you're gonna be listening on the podcast. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you again. Like, subscribe, and share. We will catch you on the next show. Peace.
Who are you under there? What are you hiding?
My son dreamt of a better world. That's why he saved me.
You can go to any timeline, any universe. Why fight to save this one?
What could be greater than a king? A hero.
I just got goosebumps.
If we don't stand up, no one will.
Come with us. There's a glorious world out there, waiting for you.
Are you in?